There was a crown prince in the White House today, and we're not talking about Barron. The Saudi prince swung by, and unlike Biden, Trump didn't give him a fist bump. He got a carriage escort and a flyover. Six fighter jets, F-15s, and F-35s. MBS liked the jets so much, he wants to buy some. Now 47s, selling him 48 at $100 million apiece. Let's pray the Chinese spies don't reverse engineer it. The president gave him a tour around the White House and showed him Otto Penn's portrait. No more knuckles.
We've worked with all presidents.
Does Trump blow them all away?
No, it's another league, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
And Trump doesn't give a fist pump. I grabbed that hand. I don't give a hell where that hand's been. I grabbed that hand.
Trump made sure not to squeeze too hard. The prince needs to keep his hand loose for all the John Hancocks.
I want to thank you because you've agreed to invest $600 billion into the United States. And because he's my friend, he might make it $1 trillion, but I'm going to have to work on him. And that means investments in plants, in companies, money on Wall Street. And what it really means for everybody that really counts is jobs.
Mr. Crown Prince, you did have a guy killed with a bone saw. You think $600 billion is enough?
We're going to announce that we are going to increase that $600 billion to almost $1 trillion of investment.
You're saying to me now that the $600 billion will be $1 trillion.
Definitely, because what we are signing it will facilitate that, and we
I like that
will
very
build
much.
it.
If you didn't see potential in the U.S., you wouldn't be doing that.
Definitely,
you don't want to lose money.
As you said, Mr. President, it's the most hottest country in the planet.
That's better. A little checkbook diplomacy goes a long way, especially with American manufacturing.
We're looking at tripling the output of our Greenville, South Carolina facility, where we make the gas turbines that are supporting U.S. needs as well as the Saudi Arabia needs.
That guy right there, invited to the Oval to pop champagne over the Saudi deal, powers our ships, our jets, and our homes. Made in America with Saudi cash. And we're getting the kingdom addicted to American chips, so the Muslims don't buy China's AI. It's also about the P word. Peace. Trump's trying to get the Saudis and the Israelis to make love, not war. The UN Security Council just approved Trump's Gaza peace plan, and we need Saudi buy-in. But they want security guarantees. The Saudis want a NATO-style defense pact with the United States. It's all about trust.
Look, we have a country that trusts us, and that's why they make that investment. If they didn't trust us, they couldn't make that investment. And we trust them. They've been very reliable. And I don't think our relationship could be better.
The Saudis didn't trust Biden. He declared a war on oil and called the prince barbaric. Then came back begging for more oil when gas hit $5 a gallon. And he wouldn't even shake his hand. So the Saudis started sending Joe to voicemail. With Trump, they're sending us $1 trillion and buying our tech and jets. But ABC News just doesn't get it.
Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the
But the
worst.
question is
One of the
legitimate,
worst
sir.
in the business. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about, but he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Does ABC know their parent company, Disney, just built a Disney Mouse castle in Riyadh? So Bob Iger can do business with the prince, but Trump can't? And just wait until ABC finds about our allies like Mexico and Iraq and the Philippines, just to name a few. They're not squeaky clean. Obama hosted Xi Jinping for a state dinner. That guy doesn't like a general. He just kills him. Where's ABC on that? China killed 1 million Americans. Trump called it the China virus. And ABC said Trump was being mean. The Saudis have been giving us oil, bases, and intel. And now $1 trillion. Not a bad ally. America was allied with Saddam Hussein for a while, even Stalin. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your friend. That same ABC reporter used to submit her questions ahead of time to Biden. Look at that. You want to talk about corruption? Mary Bruce should look in the mirror. How do you think about your place in history? Was one of the questions she gave Biden in advance. Trump's the one actually making history. He stopped the war. He's helping Gaza rebuild and making the Saudis foot the bill.
I want to ask you, how much money is Saudi Arabia giving for Gaza reconstruction?
We are in discussion about that. Still, there is no amount being
It'll be a lot.
named, but
It'll be a
we
lot.
will.
If the Crown Prince builds a Trump Tower in Gaza, Trump can sleep in his own bed when he signs the new Abraham Accords. That's if he sleeps at all.
He does not sleep much, and I don't sleep much. I think we have the same schedule. We're thinking about our countries. And if you sleep a lot and you're president, we just had one that slept more than any president. He broke every record. He sleeps all the time, during the day, during the night, on the beach. The only guy could fall asleep on the beach with the press watching.
If you're Trump, how can you sleep? Biden left the world a mess. Now Trump's cleaning it up and saving you a lot of money. Oil's down 17%, coal's down a quarter, lumber's down, wheat, corn, eggs, all down. Still more to do, but the trend is our friend. Healthcare's next. He wants to cut out the middleman and send you a check direct, so you control your healthcare, not the insurance company. Plus, we might get tariff rebates. How about a thank you?
Welfare was going up. Everything was going up. Government jobs were going up. Real jobs were going down. So you would have had that catastrophe. And on top of it, instead of 20 trillion coming in, you would have had 10 trillion leaving our country. In other words, you would have had a catastrophe. You probably would have had a bankrupt country. You are so damn lucky that I won that election. I'm telling you.
You know who else agrees? The Kennedys.
If I had won the presidency as an independent, then it would have been very, very hard for me to govern. I mean, President Trump has gotten more done than any other president in this period of time. And he was able to do probably more than at least any president since Franklin Roosevelt's first term.
Remember when they said Biden was FDR? The only thing they had in common was they hid their health from the country. Trump, the diplomat's making friends overseas so we can make more money in America. Here's some advice. Treat everybody with respect. Fine dining, no fist bumps.
I probably made a lot of enemies because in your honor, we're having a dinner tonight, a beautiful dinner tonight, and we have a very small room, right? It's called the East Room, and it's beautiful, it's lovely, but it's like for a little cocktail before you go into a ballroom. It's a very small room. They've wanted a new ballroom for 150 years. We could have sold the big ballroom out 3 times in honor of this gentleman.
Tonight's guest list is A-list. Elon Musk, Tiger Woods, Ronaldo, all the best in their business, all billionaires, and all of them a little cramped without a big, beautiful ballroom. You know who won't be invited? Pelosi. Democrats always make a fool of themselves at these functions. Like the Democrat governor of Maine, she can't even do a shot ski without staining her dress. Watch.
This is great, you know. 2, 3,
Hakeem's still rocking the sombrero. He thinks he's at a Mexican birthday party.
Their lies is what has gotten them in trouble. It's the reason why Republicans were beaten like a piñata on election day.
The only one beaten like a piñata was the Palestinian, Chuck Schumer. Everyone's grabbing a stick and whacking, even Shree's swinging.
I think we need a leader that has a strong resolve. We need a leader that has a vision. We need a leader that will fight with this administration.
Who is that person?
I don't know. Mr. Schumer is not the right person.
I'm open to Hannity, and tonight a fighter jet flyover, a press conference with no questions off limits, a big new alliance that has, basically no one thought was possible, a surprise new $1 trillion investment. It was a momentous day at the White House with the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince. Now, coming up, we're going to bring you all the latest details as President Trump is really uniting the world behind us, the greatest country God gave man. Now, even Toyota's CEO attended a NASCAR race decked out in MAGA gear, and rap legend Nicki Minaj, well, is thanking President Trump. What a night. Take a look.
I would like to thank President Trump for prioritizing this issue and for his leadership on the global stage.
And imagine Hollywood. Anyway, we'll have a lot more on all of today's breaking news. That's coming up straight ahead. And in just a moment, we'll set the record straight about the Epstein files. Democrats, they have been playing with fire. And tonight, they're about to get burned. Now we know why the Biden administration never released this information for 4 years. What we begin with is shocking, an abuse of power. Top Democratic lawmakers on tape calling for an insurrection against our commander-in-chief. Take a watch.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military,
but that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
Right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
This should shock the conscience and soul of every American. Article 2, Section 2 of our Constitution is very clear. Quote, the president shall be commander-in-chief of the Army and Navy of our country, the USA. Not Congress, not a former CIA officer, not a former astronaut, not Elise Slotkin. It is not just inappropriate for these Democrats to try and undermine President Trump's sole authority constitutionally as commander-in-chief. It is unlawful. A brazen act of subversion against our country. They appear to want a military coup in our country to take place. At this point, these Democrats, they might as well try to breach the walls of the White House and break down the doors like their radical supporters did all throughout the summer of love during the rioting in the summer of 2020 that they said were mostly peaceful. Now, this may sound dramatic to our detractors, but think about how we got here. Never mind the Russia hoax, the Mueller witch hunt, the bogus impeachments. In 2024, Democrats tried to throw Trump in prison. Why? To prevent him from becoming president. They raided his own home. They ripped through the First Lady's closet, his son's bedroom. A few months later, a deranged Trump hater came within 1 millimeter of taking Donald Trump's life. A short time after that, another would-be assassin somehow got within range to make another attempt at Trump's life. Now, in his second term, the president has worked hard to fulfill his stated campaign promises, everything that he ran on, full transparency, incredible access within the bounds of our federal republic. And yet the rage on the left now has hit an all-time low, getting worse every single day. And we're about to show you from a North Carolina NAACP leader is now what she's saying is commonplace. We hear it all the time, almost daily. It is incitement. It is dehumanizing. Take a look.
We have a little man sitting in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue who really believes that Hitler was the greatest man ever on earth, whose whole vision is to be just like Hitler, and is trying to create a 1940s Germany right here in the United States. And like then, many people said, well, it's them, it's not me, until eventually it was them.
Now, these disgusting, vile smears don't begin and end with President Trump. We have left-wing lunatics. They are attacking conservatives all across the country. Only a few weeks ago, our friend Charlie Kirk was assassinated for daring to what? Create a platform where he and other Americans could engage in civil debate? But according to a left-wing professor who disrupted a local Turning Point event at Purdue University Northwest, well, Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA is fascist. Take a look. Take a look.
Oh, you want to know what fascism means? Because I'll tell you. You guys want to know?
Yeah.
When you have a society. So you have a situation here where you want to go into classrooms and you want to tell faculty that they're not allowed to speak the truth about the history of this country. You want them to be, what's the word for slaves now? Involuntary employees or involuntary workers. We can't even say slavery.
We're not
That's ridiculous.
wanting to impose on the teachers. We are wanting this to be within the students. And
But the students want to decide what history is.
No, we know what history is, actually. Yeah. Did you know that all of our founding fathers were actually Christian, and this country was formed on Christian values?
It is really shocking, but according to the left, any political disagreement, that's fascism. Now, these are socialist revolutionaries. They don't believe in the freedom of thought and expression. Mamdani, AOC, the incoming socialist mayor of Seattle, virtually every high-profile Democrat now running for office pretty much wants to burn down the system that has created more wealth than any other system ever designed by man and abolish in the process all dissent. And of course, according to these Democrats, anything Donald Trump does is fascist, racist, he's a Nazi, etc. Even deporting criminal, illegal immigrants. That's fascism, according to these idiots. Obama deported millions. Not one person on the left ever cared at all. But now that Donald Trump is doing it, there are anti-ICE riots, assaults, doxing, threats. Everywhere these federal agents are going. Take a look. Elected Democrats, so-called leaders, they are fueling this rage that is taking place that we're witnessing all across the country. What is the result? Assaults on federal officials are up a whopping 1,000%. And according to Homeland Security, there have been a record 100 ramming attacks using vehicles this year alone. Yet Democratic leaders, they just continue to double, triple down on their violent rhetoric and then blame Donald Trump for making them do what they say. Take a look.
I believe that we all need to pay attention to Trump and how he acts. He is the cause of all the confusion and the destruction that we have seen in politics as far as I'm concerned. Because it used to be we could disagree, and that was that. I disagree with a lot of Republicans, but it does not necessarily turn violent. Ever since he's been introduced into politics, we have seen a consistent spike in the violence when it comes to politics.
Now, this brings us back to Elise Slotkin, the congresswoman who was in the video seemingly calling for that insurrection, now sees a big problem with the Democratic Party. According to her, they just aren't aggressive enough. Oh, they need to get more insane. Take a look.
Democrats, if we are going to deal with the onslaught from the White House, need to A, have a plan, and B, get a little more alpha energy into our leadership. Okay, a little more alpha energy. And our veterans understand what this is.
Given everything we know, this is a party hell-bent on destroying Donald Trump one way or another. It gets worse every day, and it's still not enough for these radicals. What else could they possibly do or say about Donald Trump? How much worse, could they possibly treat Donald Trump's supporters? How bad, can it get worse how they treat law enforcement? What's the next step in their unyielding quest to assert the will of you, the American people? I don't have the answers to those questions, but I do know this. When a group of these Democrats come out and encourage members of our military, our intel community, to commit acts of insubordination, just know that this is headed for a very, very dark place. This won't end well. Slotkin, Kelly, all the other Democrats in that video should recant their statements, lower the temperature, or frankly, just resign in disgrace.
So Bill Maher just had actor Patton Oswalt on his podcast. Yeah, that Patton Oswalt, the actor who, despite what you're thinking, was never in Lord of the Rings. But he's the comic who prowls the internet as a harsh critic of the right and self-appointed comedy cop. So you'd think he'd be wired into everything, up on all the arguments and counter-arguments, right? Nope. He knows about as much as today's issues as he does about personal grooming. True, the guy looks like a cat just coughed him up. And yet we're the ones who didn't evolve.
This country is not as mature as it thinks it is. We elected Obama, and clearly the country freaked out. We're still living in that freak out. We are not as progressed and evolved and intelligent as we think we are because we keep freaking out.
Who's we exactly, oh garden gnome? Because when Maher suggests that the left is not entirely scientific, Oswalt looks at him like AOC trying to do a math problem.
The left freak out, too. The left freaked out about a lot of too.
What did they freak out about?
Gender, race, parenthood, schools, homelessness, crime, the border, education. Like we stopped being a scientific people. Like it's not scientific.
But the left certainly stayed scientific.
No, they didn't.
Why not?
Because they think gender that they went way too far with. That's not scientific.
But how do I'm not trying to. How do they go too far with like gender stuff?
If I was teaching children, what I would teach them is there is a default setting for the human being, which is heterosexuality. That's not what we started to teach, which was that every baby is, I don't know, let's not even put it on the birth certificate. That's what they wanted.
Were we teaching that?
Yes, we
when were we teaching that?
Teaching it. It was a law here in California. See,
to teach what?
Don't put sex on the birth certificate. We'll see.
I'm sorry, I don't remember that. I mean,
I know because it doesn't get in the blue sky bubble.
Where's this guy been? Now, I get it. When you look like Patton Oswalt, you want someone telling you there's no difference between women and men. But he didn't know the laws or even the controversy. He didn't know that some states were scrapping sex from birth certificates, that his state added non-binary as a designation. Oh, he's brave online, fact-checking you and me. But when Maher, a guy capable of peering beyond the bubble, says, look, you missed this, he's as bewildered as J.B. Pritzker looking at a bag of kale. And why? Because Patton's bubble doesn't have arguments. There's nothing to read. There's no need to track. Today's left orbits in their own messaging universe, disconnected from anything that might challenge them. And since the left owns the culture, they have no problem finding affirmation. In fact, that's all they find. They have platitudes, follow the science, no human is illegal, trans women are women. But if someone says something you don't like, it's okay to shoot him in the head. Patton's happy to bathe in his bubble and, like a human virus, spreading stupidity to anyone who's susceptible. But when he's slightly confronted, you can see his face melt like a fun-sized Snickers left on a car seat during a heat wave.
If you're saying the left went too far with gender, maybe that was a function of, okay, these people are scared, they're being targeted, and we're watching them be targeted right now. We're watching transgender people be targeted in a very aggressive way. So
we are? Where?
Oh my God.
Where are they being targeted? I mean, like everybody is being targeted to a degree. I feel like,
but not scapegoated the way that transgender people are.
Scapegoated for what? Who's scapegoating them?
Every school, every shooting is a transgender person.
Not the ones that are.
But that's how they frame it, though.
Oh, man. You see, Oswalt seems as confused as Mayor Pete discovering a photo of Sydney Sweeney. His problem is that he can't argue because he never had to argue. He's like a sick kid who lives in a bubble because he has no immune system, but steps out of the bubble and immediately dies because his body developed no antibodies to fight off contagions. Only this time the contagion is truth. Now, we're different. We know we're the minority. The networks, Hollywood, academia, they all lean left. Being progressive is the factory setting. So for us, we got to do the work. We got to pick up the contradictions and the angles. We play defense. We read the memos, learn both sides, make arguments. Those muscles have to be there. And as you can tell from this interview, Oswald's mind and his body hasn't been to a gym in years. But it doesn't stop them from coming at us hard because there's no one there to say no. The left is both dominant and sheltered. Meanwhile, we're watching not just what we believe, but also what they believe. We're doing twice the work. To remain oblivious, the left can simply not watch Fox News or go on X. But the right, we have to stop watching movies, stop going to college, stop watching the Super Bowl halftime show. Even church has gone woke. Oswald reveals that the left has no idea what's going on in the world, and their arrogance protects them from having to try. Hell, while millions of Americans were facing an economic and social crisis due to COVID lockdowns, Patton scolded them for wanting to eat at Fuddruckers. He seems happily oblivious to average concerns and finds addressing them either beneath him or exhausting. And they'll call you a fascist without even knowing what it means, because the bubble gives them everything they need except reality. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He's a triple threat. He can act, tell jokes, and sleep in a car. Actor comedian Jamie Kennedy. Her last name looks like your spoon when eating alphabet soup. Financial analyst Heather Zubaraga. She went from Blink 182 to diapers full of poo. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Cat Tip. And his female fans are like a hot summer day, really bright and well into their 80s. Former NWA World Champion and host of the Planet Tyrus podcast. So, Jamie, I feel like you understand this monologue better than anybody. You live in LA, the heart of LA. Do you run into this issue where you might run into somebody who has no idea what you're talking about?
No.
No?
And first of all, I want to say he says that Trump only appeals to people that are damaged. Okay, Greg, seriously. Do I look damaged? I mean, I look like a guy that has a 401k.
Yes.
Listen, I love these two guys. They're hilarious. I live in LA. This screams of Brentwood Country Mart. I don't know where Patton's been. But you know what else appeals to people who are damaged and want power? Stand-up comedy, okay? These guys look like they're at the loneliest swinger party in Los Angeles, pontificating from their cuck thrones. I mean, none? Okay.
It's seeping into our culture.
Yeah. Listen, they're both hilarious. I love them. But I was actually shocked that Patton was saying this. Like, what do we say on gender? It was like, dude, if you questioned a guy who came out of the ladies' room with a 5 o'clock shadow, he'd be mad at you. He's like, you don't see my Jill Sander clutch? Like, what do we... Nothing? All right, Jesus.
No, but that's what I think blew my mind most about this, Heather, is that he seemed... I couldn't tell if he was pretending to be oblivious or pretending to be ignorant because he just didn't want to deal with this stuff. He just wanted to get through it, or he honestly didn't know.
No, I don't think he was pretending at all. And that's why even Bill Maher himself corrected him. Not corrected, pushed back a little bit, even if they're friends, like, hey, no, actually, there may be a default setting based on your X and Y chromosomes at birth. And to Jamie's point, calling any Trump supporters, you know, saying that they, what was it, damaged goods? No, you don't look damaged. They're saying that.
No, he does look damaged.
Well, I might borrow his jacket. It's a bit cold in here, but I mean, I'm not sure.
No, he got it off a dead hobo. So.
Oh, a dead hobo. Okay.
I look like I'd either sell you a dime bag in Aspen or
you
open up a
say
rum
that
bar in Belize.
Backstage. But no, I think the majority of Trump supporters. You didn't play this part. Wait, I'm getting to something like of substance over here. I'm really trying.
Audience dime bag.
They said that the Trump supporters fantasize about being like him. No, they don't. The guy went through relentless legal battles. They weaponize the entire justice system against the president. They give him negative media bias and attention 24/7. So the majority of Trump supporters do not fantasize being like Trump. The guy's doing an amazing and almost impossible job for the American people. We don't want...
Kat, how are you going to follow that?
She just rolled her window up on your chicanery. Like, yeah, no, I have something important. No, I have something important to say.
What do you say, Kat? Did you watch the interview? It's pretty funny, weird, wasn't it? Because also, we have to point out, Bill Maher was stoned as hell.
Right.
And he's still like, he was like, you mean you don't know what's been going on?
Well, so true. That is the podcast.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I think actually, ironically, Trump appeals to people who talk like that, like, or are sick of hearing people talk like that about them. Like, oh, you're damaged. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're so bad. And people started after a while being like, am I really though? Because this is how I talk. This is how a lot of my friends talk. So what he's doing, and he still doesn't get it, what he's doing is why Trump is popular. Not all the things he's accusing the people of being, but it's in a rebellion to hearing people talk exactly like that. And he still hasn't gone out and met enough people to realize that yet.
You know what Patton Oswalt is? He's the teacher at the school that tells the kids that they're not smart enough and the kids rebel, except he's talking about Trump supporters, and they look at him as a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like one, by the way.
He does. It's upsetting to me watching this conversation because this is what the polarization of political has done. It has ruined the getting high conversation. This is not what you talk about when you're high. Where is the awesome movie that Patton he's done a million movies. Bill Maher has traveled the world. They should have been coming up with some ways to fuse an Oreo cookie and a pizza and still take your Ozempic shot. Like, this is important that we're not discussing when we're high. And my favorite part of this whole thing is seeing how upset Greg was. And I could relate. Did you see how passionate he was during that monologue? Like, give him a round of applause. I have not.
Was I?
Oh, leaning forward, fired up.
You know why? I'm very
veins.
warm in
I
this
know
jacket.
why.
Oh.
I know why, because it happens to me. Like, when I see a brother give a dumb speech, I'm like, why are we talking? Why are you doing this to us? You saw a little guy like you saying some and you were mad because he's representing you. It's like one little guy smokes some weed, says some dumb we all get blamed for it.
You know what? I now know what it's like to be black.
Thank you. It took 10 years, but
Yes.
Now you feel how we feel.
Yes. Don't blame me for what other short people do. Before we go, you can come see me this Saturday in Atlantic City with Tom Shalhoub and surprise special guest. Wonder who that could be. Then I got a bunch of dates next year all over the country. Go to ggutfeld.com for tickets.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.